Well, hello everybody. Hello. Spectators now on our channel. We'll try to increase the number of listeners. Well, at least we'll keep on trying to wait a little. Just uh, I'm still awaiting uh, some spectators of the channel. But tonight we are going to have a little bit listening. So listening is a factor of English that's has its very important role, has its very important part in the whole procedure of your education. So when listening, we have a kind of recognition. Well, we use recognition of something that we have previously heard before. Well, just imagine you hear something just for the first time. You get to know it. You learn something new. And when you hear it again, over and over and over again, it comes to be something recognizable. And there is such a word to recognize. To recognize is to hear or to see something, just to feel something that you have heard before, that you have seen before. And this is what we are going to do now, tonight. I'm here today in order just to be uh, just adjusting my screen so as you were able to see everything properly. Well, to see it, but to see is not that important as to hear. It's very important to hear the interlocutor. It's very important to hear the one you are talking to, and this factor uh, is hard to be minimized. Well, I'll try to explain to you the basics of understanding when listening. Just let's imagine that you are listening to a radio station. Um, in my curriculum, I always give my students just some clues, just some links to a radio station that's very best to start hearing, to start listening from. And yeah, basically, it's two radio stations. It's one of them comes from Chicago, Illinois, and one more is from Seattle. And the Chicago radio station is a contemporary one. They are talking about UFOs, some abnormal phenomena happening in the world that is very hard to be explained. Some things that are very hard to be explained, just inexplicable things. Well, and uh, there is one more. It's called Old Time Radio. It comes from Seattle. It's broadcast from Seattle, and it broadcasts some radio programs that were initially recorded in the 20th century, in the middle of 20th century, in 50s and 60s, and all the sounds are particularly very distinct. They are distinct, so as not to feel any discomfort when listening to the radio. When listening to the radio, well, when listening, we understand something that we have previously learned, that we have previously gotten through, and that's why it's very important to learn first and then listen. But we can do it simultaneously. For instance, in our lessons, when hearing something new, just on hearing something new, we face a problem of misunderstanding sometimes. But it depends on the context. It depends on the number of people taking part in the conversation. It depends on the atmosphere. It depends on the style of the speaker. And when listening to the one you're currently talking to, well, you should pay attention not to separate words, but to the whole context, context. And uh, context, yes. Sorry, just a slip of tongue. Yes. And when communicating with people, once you have paid more attention, or you have paid some supreme attention to some separate parts of speech, you will not catch the whole. You will not catch uh, the whole apple if you just pay attention to one micron of it. It's very, very hard to point out some separate parts and then to understand something as common. So we should pay attention to the whole idea, not to its separate compounds. So the idea can comprise a lot of words, but those lot of words, if when taken separately, each of them doesn't make any sense to you whenever it's just torn from the context, from the context, and torn out of the conversation. Well, it shouldn't be dropped. It should exist as some comprised part, just uh, well, to participate in the conversation. You should pay primary attention to the whole idea. As soon as you concentrate on something separate, you will lose the subject matter. Just not to lose the subject matter, you should focus on something that um, unites it all, that gets it all united, that gets it all combined into something indivisible, into something that can't be separated into some separate words. Yeah, of course it can be, but then it's not going to be the whole idea. Well, so what I'm trying to tell you tonight is that uh, when whenever you want to be the right speaker, the right part of the conversation, just whenever you want to be heard, just not only to speak and show your pronunciation and your idea, just making it clear to others, but as soon as you concentrate on the idea of the conversation, you are not focused on yourself. You are focused on the idea, and you forget about yourself. You forget about your English, and your English is supposed to remember it all. Your English, your brain, your uh, subconscious brain, subconscious part of your brain, just the left one. Sometimes they exchange vice versa, but at the same time, I'd like uh, to stress the moment that once again I will tell you. Well, there is the whole idea. You express that idea in many words. You express that idea, whatever the language we are talking about. That idea consists of words, but whenever we take some separate word, it doesn't exist apart from the idea. So it should be something indivisible, неделимо. It should be something uh, existing as a whole thing, just as a whole thing. When listening to the whole thing, you will not lose anything. You will not waste a word, a single word. So, uh, in order to understand separate words, well, why ever? Why do that? Just why ever do that? There is no purpose like that. All that purpose exists, but it's mistaken. Uh, you don't have to focus your attention on separate words. You should concentrate on something common, on something indivisible, on something, maybe something very huge. Uh, but, well, when you imagine a house, you don't imagine any separate brick and its shape because we cannot see its full shape. We cannot see complete shape because something is hidden from us. Yes, we can see only the front part of the bricks in the wall. You see, bricks in the wall. We can see only the front part of the brick. We cannot see the side part of the brick on the left and right because it's there. It's conjunct. It's connected with other bricks. Well, they constitute the wall, but that wall uh, should be exactly realized as a wall. It should be seen as a wall, but not a number of bricks. Just the same as about you're speaking to people, to native speakers. When speaking to someone, you shouldn't get words together. You should think about something in common, and words will keep on coming, and they will constitute the phrase you are going to express, and you will be heard. You are going to be heard. That's the basic idea of conversation. Because when thinking about separate words, when thinking about something mm, that actually doesn't exist as separate parts, but exists as a common thing, uh, you will not lose the subject matter of the conversation. You will be appreciated as a nice speaker, as a nice person to talk to. And that's what I'm trying to express my idea on, and just to reach you with this idea, and I will try to uh, explain to you how to properly listen to a radio, or to listen to a TV show, or listen to a movie on TV. Because, well, it's not just the best example, because, well, when listening to a radio, we're listening to a radio station, listening to the radio. Um, you don't have any previously created episodes, any previously created images on screen. And what does our brain do in this case? Well, it reproduces them on its own, just by using its creative matter. And that matter grows into something that you can see with your own imagination, not with your eyes anymore. Because when looking at the TV screen, you can see something that the film director had previously created for you. And as for listening to the radio station, you're listening to a radio station. Well, and then your brain turns on its creative function, and it starts reproducing some images, pictures, and all that stuff. Well, our brain is a Michelangelo. Our brain is an artist. Well, it's a painter, and it's got a lot of paints in its palette. Well, and uh, we cannot do what our brain can do. Our brain is just some separate entity that exists apart from our consciousness. Because our brain, well, how does our brain work? Well, we were born into this world as little kids. Well, and we came and tried to see the world. We didn't like some things around. Just somebody is fighting, or somebody is doing wrong things around us, and we didn't appreciate everything. We used the function of the brain. It's called comprehension. To understand, it's not enough. To comprehend is just to grasp the idea, just to understand the very idea. Well, some dogs are barking just outside. Well, I hope it's not too discomfortable for you to listen to. Okay, but they are also having some conversation. Well, they are barking there outside. Dogs. Some dog is one. Some dog is willing to reproduce some information to the other dog. Well, probably there are more than two, and then it's not a dialogue; it's a polyglot, and they are exchanging information too. Well, they have just a different language. But as for us, well, yes, good evening, Inna. Very nice to see you here along with Elena and Mikola. Uh, yes. Well, so we are being watched from Ukraine and Russia as well. Very nice. Well, greeting you, everybody. So, what are we talking about today? We are talking about listening. How to properly listen to things. Well, we can listen to real things because, well, we cannot see them, but we cannot see electricity, but we use it. Well, that electricity, with no electricity, this computer wouldn't make a single move, just toward just turning on and showing my screen. But you see, just on doing that, I can turn it off. I can turn it off. I can turn it on, back on, and you can see me again. Well, it's like we are the masters of our own life. and we are the masters of whatever we say or whatever we hear, because our brain can see. It's got imagination. Even when you close your eyes, you can see things. Well, if you imagine them. Imagine you remember that song. Imagine all the people living for today. Yeah, music helps. When listening to music, we can see some things too. Really, uh, we turn on our our local brain functional vision, and it's not necessarily just to have eyes. Well, some people are playing music with their eyes closed. Sometimes our eyes can be open shut. No, we're not speaking about that. Just listening is a great thing. We use listening is our controller. We can listen to ourselves. We can listen to others, and we compare. And that constant comparison it erases the difference gradually, step by step, day by day, move by move. You do it. And gradually, you come to understand some things that you used to slip through your fingers in the past. But it's only in the past. Each new day gives you something new, enables you to do something new, enables you to understand something new. And this is what I wanted to tell you tonight. Well, I hope you have understood most of the idea I wanted to reach you with. And перейду на русский, традиционно. Я хотел рассказать вам сегодня по-английски, как правильно слушать. То есть и слушание, вот это вот listening, да, это не то, что мы слышим. Вот слышим это воспринимаем, да. We can listen, but it's not necessarily you're gonna hear something. Мы можем послушать, прислушиваться к вещам, да, то есть из уха вылетает стрелка и преследует точку источника звука. И тогда от нее возвращается что-то нам в слуховой контроллер. И если вы пытаетесь услышать каждое отдельное слово в новостях, попробуйте так вот сделать с родным языком. Тут у нас присутствуют люди из России, из Украины. Попробуйте украинский, русский, не важно. Попробуйте осознать каждое слово, и вы потеряете всю базовую идею того, что слышите. Обязательно надо в слушании раствориться. Обязательно надо представить себе, да, это фон, но чтобы этот фон стал информацией, надо забыть о том, что существуют какие-то отдельные слова. Вы знаете, мы пробелы ставим на письме, исключительно на письме. Мы пробелы ставим на письме, потому что так, чтобы наши слова различали. Да, но слуховой контроль наши уши, да, в общем-то, и наш мозг, связанный с ним, он воспринимает все не как отдельные единицы, а как что-то целое. И опять же, я хотел вам показать, я надеюсь, что вы поняли, что вот этот break in the wall, кирпич в стене, мы видим только его фронтальную часть. Если его представить себе отдельно, то мы потеряем скрепляющую часть кирпича и потеряем стену, она даст трещину, она обязательно разрушится. Они говорят так, it's gonna fold like a card house. То есть сложится как карточный домик, знаете, по такому принципу. И по принципу стены и кирпича в ней мы видим только лицевую, фронтальную часть кирпича, так скажем, да, the front part, the front side of the brick. We cannot see the left side, we cannot see the inner side of the brick, we cannot see the right side, we cannot see the downside or upside. Well, wait, we can see only the front side. Why? Because it's connected with other bricks, and it makes the wall. Потому что он соединен с другими кирпичами, он делает стену. Но если мы увидим каждый кирпич по отдельности, стена разрушится. Также разрушится и цель вашего высказывания, если вы будете приглядываться к отдельным единицам. Это, в принципе, все, что я хотел вам сказать. Может быть, у вас есть вопросы по аудированию. Сегодня это тема нашего сегодняшнего вечернего эфира. И, вероятно, у вас есть что, может быть, спросить, да? Music helps. It's true. That's right. It's always better to listen and read than watch. Well, some people can watch. Some people can watch better than listen to the radio, but it's something that has to be developed. Это надо обязательно развивать. умение слышать, оно развивается. Поэтому слушайте радиостанции. Я сейчас вам напишу то, что вы можете найти в интернете. Есть такой большой довольно-таки такой игрушечный плеер. Там радиостанция из Чикаго. Это Inception Radio Network. Inception Radio Network. Там минимум политики. Она уже всех достала. Всех достала. И даже тех, кто о ней говорит. Inception Radio Network, Chicago. Вот вам ключевые слова. В принципе, во время каких-нибудь следующих эфиров можно и ссылки дать, просто здесь их нет. И там же, на той же самой, в том же самом интерфейсе можно найти Old Time Radio, называется радиостанция, она звучит из Сиэтла, и там те радиопрограммы, которые я и сам работал на радио, у нас некоторые пилотные выпуски переписывались для утверждения, допустим, в столице, да, переписывались по 40 раз. И я писал по 40 раз одни и те же новости, следя за качеством. Так, мне пока удобнее слушать видео без субтитров. Ну, в принципе, когда, это говорит Инна, значит, когда одно аудио, тогда теряюсь пока. Знаете, как это? Волков боятся в лес не ходить. Это, конечно, поговорка не к данному контексту, но она очень близка этой ситуации, потому что главное, самое главное, вот что нас останавливает? Наш страх, да? Мы что-то не увидим, а вдруг мы неправильно поймем. А на самом деле радиостанция Inception Radio Network. Inception это как бы, как вам сказать, это такой Genesis. Это как бы зарождение такое вот называется, как жизни на Земле. Вот, и там собираются люди, которые, возможно, развили какие-то скрытые способности в себе. У них такая тема разговора, она уводит нас от этих трудностей жизни, какие-то возможности будущего. А человек эволюционирует в любом случае. Так. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to you as well. Ilana, thanks for dropping by. And Ina, thanks for your opinion here in the chat. Так. It's really difficult for me. Well, it's difficult to me as well. It's difficult for me to listen to something, or it's difficult to me. It's difficult for me to listen, or it's difficult to me. Nice. Do they understand you? Well, so do I understand before. I used to listen to something, I couldn't understand it once. Well, it's not the first day you come to understand it. Это не в первый день вы начнете понимать. Может быть, во второй. Но, тем не менее, нет таких слов английских. Вот нет, точнее, нет таких эфиров, где бы не проскакивали английские слова и фразы, сочетания, которые бы вы отдельно не вырывали из контекста и не понимали. Да? Но это не совсем отдельные кирпичи. Это какие-то уже идут блоки стенные. Да? Но чтобы из них, в общем-то, понять весь этот домик, да, надо, знаете, как картину, когда пишешь, надо отойти на 20 шагов. А может на 10. Но отойти-то надо, чтобы увидеть все общее. Когда вы вот так вот прильнете к холсту и попробуйте вот каждый миллиметрик вырисовывать, потом отойдете, у вас будет рябить в глазах. Это называется германский реализм. Так что от общего к частному. От общего к частному приходим к деталям, но не от частного к общему. Вот одно из, скажем, у нас всегда есть точка отсчета, точка опоры. Как один человек говорил, give me the starting point and I will turn it over. I'll turn over the whole world. То есть, как бы я переверну весь мир. Дайте мне точку опоры. Так. Ну и, в общем-то, все, наверное, что я хотел на сегодня сказать. Это такой легкий эфир. Я не хочу по вечерам вас долго задерживать. И вам я очень благодарен каждому. Здесь вот и Елена, Микола, Инна, лучшие нашли время и пришли. Спасибо большое. Thank you so much for dropping by, for coming over to my direct video tonight. Да, в общем-то, все, что не имеет образа, оно становится просто пустой фонетикой, пустым звуком. Смысл и звук должны быть связаны в единое целое, и тогда слово, которое было в начале, обретет еще и какой-то видеоформат. Возможно, на уровне воображения, возможно, на уровне каком-то еще. Ну, ментальном в любом случае уровне. Слово mental — это мыслительный. Это не только психический, говорят, а mental hospital — это психбольница, да. Mentally — это про себя, да. Just to mentally think about something, to reflect something. To reflect, почему говорят to reflect? Отражать что-то, что ты уже увидел, отраженные образы мозга — это и есть переосмысление, то есть рефлексии наши, то есть наше мышление. Все. Начинается с мышления. Everything starts with thinking, with understanding, comprehending, and we are going to see each other again. Завтра суббота, я думаю, что утреннего выхода в эфир делать не надо, потому что некоторые люди устали. И я не про себя, конечно, говорю, потому что я не устаю. Я еще долго буду вас радовать, надеюсь, здесь в прямом эфире, если это приносит радость, конечно. Если не приносит, скажите, я уйду. Вот. А так, завтра вечером в 10 часов я в эфире, если что, приходите. Будет интересно. Надеюсь. Bye-bye. See you. Have a wonderful tonight. And have a nice weekend as well.